Hello, amazing young people. My name is Miss Sonia, and I'm an environmental project coordinator for the City of Memphis Stormwater Department. Stormwater refers to rain or snow melt from a precipitation event that occurs during the water cycle. Stormwater then traverses or runs over land and flows to the nearest stream, river, lake, or ocean to restart the cycle. Our department is responsible for regulating and eliminating pollution of stormwater runoff, and do so before it flows to a nearby water body. So every choice you make will honestly mold the future. For example, my choices brought me to talk to you here today about the environment. As a child, I chose to become a vet, but graduated as a zoologist. Then I chose to become the greatest, weirdest biology teacher ever and became the greatest, weirdest pre-K teacher ever. And my most recent choices brought me here today to share this stormwater education awareness. We need you to know how the planet works and your effect on it by the choices you make from a stormwater point of view. Now, after each subtopic, there will be a snack break for your brain. I call it a befuddle-faddle break, a BF break for short. So a BF question or statement will be presented. I'll give you a moment to digest it and think about it. Then during the next BF break, an answer or explanation will be given for the prior one. So here's your first BF break. Ice cream burgers or hamburger ice cream? Why is stormwater important? Let's say this bowl of water represents all the water on our planet. 97% of the water on our planet is in our oceans and is too salty to drink. We need fresh water, but that's only 3% of water on the planet. And of that 3%, 67% of that is frozen in glaciers, which we can't use. The rest of that approximate 1% of fresh water is either surface water or groundwater, and groundwater is not easily accessible to everyone. So our access to Earth's fresh water, which we share with each other, plants and animals, is quite limited. That's like all of us sharing this much groundwater. That's a very small amount in comparison to the amount of water on the planet. BF break, oh my gosh, just out of curiosity, I looked it up. They really are a thing. That's too weird for me and not what I meant. I was referring to the amount of water it takes to make store-bought ice cream. Depending on the internet source, a dairy farm cow drinks about 24 gallons of water per day, and another 6 gallons is used in cleaning after each cow. That's about 30 gallons of water for just one cow. Your gallon of store-bought ice cream reportedly comes from multiple cows. And if the average large U.S. dairy farm has 15,000 cows, that's 450,000 gallons of water used each day, which is 164,250,000 gallons of water per year on just one farm. And if there's 65,000 farms in America, that's a little over 29 billions of gallons of water to make the nation's ice cream. All right, here's your next BF break. Do you have a waterproof phone? No. So why was the Stormwater Department created? Well, it started back in the day, many moons ago, in 1969.
People in the United States treated their respective rivers like garbage cans, man, and industries would pollute the rivers. So, in Cleveland, Ohio, chemical pollution from manufacturing industries were dumped into the Cuyahoga River over and over again. So much was dumped that the river caught on fire 13 times. Wait, so how does water catch on fire?
Well, the chemical waste from the industries was flammable. The biggest Cuyahoga fire was in 1952, But in 1969, an investigation determined that sparks from a passing train started a fire on the oily beams under the train bridge. And this fire ignited the industrial pollution that was floating on top of the river. But this time, Congress decided to pass a law regulating pollution of not just the rivers in Cleveland, but all over America. So the Environmental Protection Agency was created in 1970 and the Clean Water Act in 1972, which mandated that all rivers be safe enough for public swimming and to support aquatic life by 1983. After the 1969 Cuyahoga fire, Cleveland invested in remediating the river and developing new sewer systems. Now, the EPA thought that since point source pollution from industries had been eliminated, the rivers were safe. Point source pollution is pollution from an identifiable source. But in the late 80s, when the rivers were tested, a practice we call ambient stream monitoring, they found that the rivers were still very polluted. But the pollution was from multiple unidentifiable sources. This kind of pollution is called non-point source pollution. So each state was told to also regulate and eliminate their non-point pollution sources, hence the creation of the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation and the creation of stormwater departments in different cities. Non-point source pollution is the biggest source of stormwater pollution in America. Many of the rivers in Memphis are polluted by non-point source pollution, but each of us help make the choice to stop it.
BF break. It can take approximately 240 gallons of water to make a cell phone.
Your next BF break. An ancient river flows through these hands. A watershed is an area of land where stormwater falls and drains or sheds to a nearby stream, river, lake, or ocean. We all live on a watershed. Memphis has 3 major watersheds that drain to one of the 3 rivers. If you live in this area of here, your water drains to the Loosahachie River. And if you live in this area, all of your water drains to the Wolf River. And if you live in this area, all of your storm drains, ditches, and lakes eventually drain to this water body, which is called the Nonconnah Creek. We are part of the larger Mississippi River watershed, which drains 31 U.S. states to the Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic Ocean. Remember those choices I was talking about? Well, I could have moved to another state, but one reason I chose to stay in Memphis was for our water. Memphis is so lucky to have access to that 30% underground water source. Memphis gets its water from the Memphis Sands Aquifer. It's some of the best in the country. Why is Memphis water so good? First of all, we are drinking some very old water. It has been estimated that a drop of rain takes thousands of years to reach the aquifer. As stormwater percolates through the layers of silt, sand, and clay, pollutants are naturally removed. But the aquifer is shared by 8 other states. Each state has an environmental obligation to use it sustainably. BF break. This is a paleo channel, or an ancient or fossilized river in my hands. I found this while inspecting a construction site in southeast Memphis. The soil over the whole site was so red it looked like Mars. A geologist co-worker and researchers at the University of Memphis Center of Applied Earth Science and Engineering, CSER for short, all agreed that this is a paleo channel. Dude, dinosaurs could have been drinking or swimming through this very stream millions of years ago. That's pretty cool. Anyway, that's the ancient river flowing through my hands. Your next BF break. There's water in them there stars. Back to our rivers and pollution. Remember Cleveland developed a new sewer system in 1969 to keep from polluting the river? Well, Memphis was ahead of the game. In 1880, we were the first in the country to develop a separate sewer system. And like Cleveland, we did so after suffering the negative effects of polluting our waterways and streets. Check out this skit of a paraphrased newspaper article from 1880 called Mephitic Memphis. Mephitic means foul-smelling, putrid, just downright stanky.
Investigators have found the source of the epidemic in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's listen in. The National Board of Health and engineers have been investigating the present conditions of the yellow fever epidemic in Memphis and have gathered the most extensive information with regard to the cause which increased the disease in the city. They have examined every house in the place, from the garret to the cellar, every yard, street, and alley, and know the conditions of Memphis and all of its parts. Filthy gutters, bad drainage, and accumulated garbage were cited as the results of it all.
Now, it should be one of the best drained cities in the country, whereas it's not drained at all. Now, this Bayou Gayoso is blamed for all the sickness that has occurred in that city, and there is thrown garbage and all conceivable species of filth, but there are miniature Bayou Gayosos in almost every street, alley, and byway in Memphis, which are infinitely more detrimental to the public health than Bayou Gayoso.
Memphis made the choice to improve its sanitation practices with the installation of our innovative Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System, aka the MS4. With our MS4, all used water from the drains in our homes and businesses flow through the underground pipes of the sanitary sewer system. But it wasn't until 1975 and 1977 that our current wastewater treatment facilities were built. So now our wastewater is cleaned through an extensive process before it's released to the Mississippi River. The stormwater drainage system is a network of structures, channels, and underground pipes that carry stormwater to lakes, streams, rivers, etc. Remember, the problem is that stormwater carries whatever is in its path of flow without being cleaned to the water body. That's called stormwater pollution. The MS4 was a big step to ending mephitic Memphis. The discovery of our great underground water source, the Memphis Sands Aquifer, in 1887 made Memphis the place to be. And because of the improvements of our sanitary practices, Memphis was voted the cleanest city in Tennessee from 1940 to 1946, and then the cleanest city in America from 1948 to 1951. Memphis citizens chose to work together to keep their city clean, and that's how you can help. We did it before, we can do it again. BF break. So water has been discovered from multiple sources in outer space, like large amounts of water vapor around black holes, and 750 light years from Earth, a young sun-like star has been found with jets that blast epic quantities of water into interstellar space, shooting out droplets at very high velocities. And if water is life, could there be life on planets like Saturn, where the rings and the moons contain a lot of water ice? Next BF break, making it poolah.
So what's the chemistry connection? We've talked about the Clean Water Act to eliminate pollutants in water bodies and water quality testing to monitor them. Every month, the Stormwater Department conducts ambient stream monitoring of the Lucehachie, the Wolf, and the Nankana. We don't sample the Mississippi River because it's regulated by the Corps of Engineers, but all 4 rivers are categorized as impaired by the EPA. An impaired river means the water in or near the river is contaminated by pollutants to a degree that the water does not support conditions for safe public swimming or healthy aquatic life. So, our rivers do not meet the initial criteria covered in the Clean Water Act of 1972. The Stormwater Department has 28 sampling locations from bridges throughout the city. We monitor the water temperature, pH, and DO, that's dissolved oxygen, on the spot at each location. Some tests can't be done in the field, so we bottle the samples from each location, put them on ice, and take them to a certified lab for analysis. So possible pollutants in water such as E. coli, metals, nutrient suspended solids, which are the solid particles that may be floating in the water. These parameters refer to the levels set for fish and aquatic life. If the parameter result is outside of these parameter levels, then the waterway is not healthy enough to support certain or all aquatic life, or for drinking water, or for recreational purposes. What effects can these pollutants have on stream health? Well, temperature differences can affect the reproduction of some species or cause stress. Metals in the waterways that are heated by the sun can change the chemistry and habitat of the waterway. Fluctuations in pH have a deleterious effect. Too little DO may mean there isn't enough oxygen in the water for fish to live. Too much sediment in the waterway can block out sunlight for aquatic plant photosynthesis, change the habitat and chemistry, and clog fish gills so they can't breathe.
BF break. Pula is the name of the currency of Botswana in Africa. Rain affects us socially, physically, mentally, and even economically. In Botswana, the word for rain is pula. In this African country, rain is scarce and highly regarded, and pula is symbolic of the economic significance and importance of a rain in the desert nation. So pula equals wealth, gives a whole new meaning to making it rain. BF break. Boxed water is better. Have you heard about Green Camp? Green Camp invites students, high school students from the Memphis area to gain hands-on experience and participate in a scientific study involving water quality and stormwater pollution awareness issues. It is offered for 1 week during the summer, but we love to bring it to your class throughout the year. During Green Camp, students compare the effects on stormwater quality within rural and urban watersheds. We go to many locations within the city of Memphis and outside the city of Memphis to investigate parameters of water quality in rivers, streams, and wetlands. We perform chemical and biological testing. We provide all of the materials needed: t-shirts, backpacks, transportation, lunch, and reusable water bottles, and more. Students participate in a community service cleanup or storm drain marking. They earn a certificate of program completion and 35 community service hours. Students are encouraged to write a scientific paper, which, if it qualifies, will be published on the Stormwater website, which looks pretty good on a college resume or maybe a little high school extra credit. Or they can choose to create a trifold or watershed model presentation like these. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Green Camp was offered virtually for the first time. Campers follow me, my son, and stormwater coworker as we practice social distancing while participating in Green Camp activities virtually and at their home. In fact, these models, which I'm very proud of, are the result of their Green Camp experience. And we would love to offer teachers similar opportunities via a virtual or future in-person classroom session. And to be clear, we want non-science oriented students as well as science students. Instinctually, we're all scientists from birth. Science is curiosity. Science is making observations and trying to make sense of them. BF break. Did you know Jaden Smith has his own line of boxed water to help curb the use of plastic water bottles? It takes 1.85 gallons of water to make your plastic water bottle. Good thing we don't need either. Save your money and use a reusable bottle. By the way, would anyone like to submit us a Memphis 901 song, spoken word, or any other art form about stormwater issues? Email me and let's rap about it. So how can you help eliminate stormwater pollution? First of all, don't pollute. Please throw your trash in a garbage can. Dispose of any chemicals properly, not on the ground or in storm drains. Don't blow grass clippings on the street. Blow grass clippings back onto your yard or bag or mulch them. Please do not allow your pet to use other people's yard as a bathroom. Scoop the poop. Encourage others not to pollute. That's one of the easiest and quickest ways you can help to keep our waterways and drinking water clean and healthy. Please call us if you see pollutants in a storm drain, ditch, or drainage way. We can inspect the area and educate more people in the area not to pollute. You can also help by reducing, recycling, and reducing, especially plastics, which are not biodegradable. It may take plastics up to 1,000 years to break down into smaller pieces. Then it's called microplastics. Remember how the Mississippi River drains to the Atlantic Ocean? There are many ocean animals that eat plastic because it looks like food. Microplastics have been found in freshwater rivers too. Ever since I saw that video of the sea turtle with the straw stuck up its nose, I stopped using plastic straws. Now I use reusable straws, like metal straws, or reusable grocery bags, or reusable water bottles, and biodegradable spoons and forks when I'm not at home. And I recycle or reuse as many items as I can. The Memphis Stormwater Department has several eco-friendly items to give away with school participation. Contact us. There are some trends that seem to be catching on in Memphis on how to better work with the planet and stormwater management. You have choices on how the planet can remain sustainable. We can choose to protect our wetlands, which are great at cleaning pollutants from stormwater. We can choose to construct buildings with green roofs to absorb and clean stormwater before it goes into a storm drain. We can choose to install rain gardens to act like mini wetlands to clean pollutants from stormwater runoff on pavements. All of these things are examples of green infrastructure, also called low-impact development, and will help to keep our streams, lakes, and rivers and oceans clean and healthy for everybody. As you guys get older and are working in your chosen careers, remember to work with the planet and use its resources sustainably so there is some left for the future. Your decisions to graduate high school, attend college or a trade school, and the careers you choose will guide the future. How you construct your own knowledge, explore differing ideas, interact with others, express yourself, listen, communicate, and solve important issues, and envision world dynamics both socially and environmentally will all mold the future. So choose positively and wisely and get involved. We may be able to help you host a trash cleanup in your neighborhood or mark storm drains to educate your community. All of your decisions will have an effect on our shared future. And remember, you guys are amazing. Thanks for watching.